Hangover Monday, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Welcome back to Misery Mondays, Hangover Monday. We got some things to talk about, you guys. Look, I'm going to be real, and I've said this a lot lately, and I'm sticking to it, okay? This is not going to be a long show by any means. We were live yesterday, probably 7-8 hours between my show, Wasted show, and then, me, Stu, and Wasted on the late night. I got nothing else to give to this football team. So this is going to be a quick in and out scenario, pause if necessary. But we had to get a story out there today, okay? Because something happened to one of our own at Allegiant Stadium yesterday, man. And my guy, first and foremost, this my father, y'all. This my father. I'm gonna be a little extra here, okay? It's my brother. Okay, so my guy's going to go on his little media tour today. And, I said, man, hold on, man. I got to be the first to bring my guy on because, once again, this is my dog, right? We have our guy, and just like Hug said in the comment section, right? Exclusive rights. We have our dog. Hugdeez, the my father himself. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Good to be on the show. Nasty yesterday, but glad to be here and talk with the nation and our boys.
First and foremost, before we get to the situation, right, everybody kind of knows it's kind of going Raider viral right now. I posted it on Twitter, and it's going absolutely bonkers right now, which is hilarious. How was the experience with you and your wife out there in Las Vegas getting a chance to watch the Raiders and Browns game?
Oh, okay, man. It was a really good experience. It's my wife's first Raider game, so she was excited to just be there. We got her a little Raider jacket so she could represent in the stadium as we enjoyed the game.
Love it.
We got real lucky. We were in row 120 or section 128, 2 rows off the field, and it just so happens we were right next to where the Raiders come out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I mean, Gorilla and all those guys were probably, I would say, 15 to 20 feet away from us on the other.
We seen them in the picture. Like when you look broad, you see everybody around you.
Yeah, and it was it's a good experience. Great fans, really, really cool people. Other than the loss, we had a good time, and I got to let Gino have a little pep talk, man. So it's me being passionate about my team.
Now, before we get there, what you have the OakLosVegas special on? I got to bring those back. Hug has like one of one right now. The nation deserves better. I have not seen that hoodie. I don't even have one myself. Hug got one. That is so dope. All right, man. Going into the tunnel at halftime, we're down, right? And just explain this situation, what happened. Because, look, football games, people talk shit all the time. I mean, literally in Indianapolis, I was running my mouth to Gino as he was walking into the tunnel. Stu was over there dying. Everybody's laughing in the crowd. And once again, I'm on the road. I'm not at home. So they treated the situation a little different, right? But what happened there? Because all the other players, it looks like Max and everybody's kind of still trying to hype the crowd up a little bit. And then Gino kind of does one of these little sneaky throwing the birds up. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened? What was said? And it looks like it wasn't just like pointed to you. It looks like he was like to the fans. Like, but I could be wrong. This could have been just a Hugdeez special here.
So there was one moment. It's been reported out there by a couple folks that we had a conversation twice, and that's not what happened. It was at halftime. People are heading up to get their snacks and goodies and whatever they're going to get up on the main way up there.
Yeah.
And it's a little quieter. You can imagine it's not as loud as during game time. Mm-hmm. And the players are heading into the tunnel there to have their halftime talk. And Gino's one of the last ones that's going back into the tunnel. Well, as he walks by, and as you can hear from my voice, I got pretty loud. And as he's walking by, I said, "Hey, Gino." Well, when I said, "Hey, Gino," he literally turned around. I did not expect him to hear me because, even though it's quieter, it's still loud in a stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he turned around and I flipped him 2 birds just like he did that dude in Seattle. I said, "Hey, Gino, you effing suck." Well, at that time, he saw me say that in both my birds, and from my lips to God's ears, I swear to God, that man said "FUB," right?
Uh-huh.
And walked back into the tunnel. Well, about 35 seconds later, a lady in a tan jumper, like a tan sports coat, with a name badge comes out and goes, "Hey, you're not allowed to do that. You are going to get, we're going to have somebody come see you." About 2 minutes later, sure enough, another gentleman comes walking down the steps, and he goes, "I get it, man." This is exactly what he said. He goes, "I get it, but you can't do that. Just sign this, enjoy the game, and don't make me come back down here." So he hands me this, which is my code of conduct warning. which
is so goated. It's so goated.
Makes me sign it at the bottom, right? And it says use of foul, abusive, or obscene language and/or gestures, including the use of language or gestures concerning a person's race, ethnicity, color, gender, religion, creed, disability, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, expression, or national origin. So when I read it, I go, I didn't say any of that. I told him he sucks. And yes, I flipped him some birds, but he's done that to fans in Seattle. So yeah. I'll take it because this is an awesome souvenir to have after going to a game where Gino gets his ass beat.
Yes.
But that was pretty much it. Well, as halftime ends and people are starting to come back to their seats, there are folks coming down from several rows up, giving me pounds and telling me they would have done the same thing and that I should frame this and take it home. So that's kind of how it went.
So we don't have to pay a fine then, huh? Because we were talking about it yesterday. We're like, we will pay that fine for you. There's no fine tied to it.
No fine, just code of conduct warning, which is weird, right? Because we're passionate fans. People say all kinds of stuff. I believe it's the fact that Gino took it a little personal and may have told on me. So I think he might have done a little dry snitching in the tunnel.
Oh, he did. He's running around blocking content creators. I mean, at this point, Gino is he's going full out girl mode right now.
He hasn't blocked me on X yet or Twitter, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. So
let me ask you this, man, because again, yesterday was just a terrible game from top to bottom. I mean, special teams, again, it looked like Tom McMahon was still in the building. Defensively, we couldn't really get things rolling. We did have a turnover, Snowden out there looking like a BB. Yeah, we had 2 of them, actually. You're right. You're correct. Couldn't capitalize on it offensively. Once again, we struggled to run the football. Struggled. I mean, that Cleveland defense got to Gino 10 times, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
We just got absolutely embarrassed at home. Gino had to throw the football almost 50 times yesterday. Crazy thing is he didn't have any picks, which is
that's because he overthrew coverage and his receivers several times.
Him and Trey Tucker did not have they had miscommunication all game long yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it today. We got rid of Chip Kelly yesterday, right? Last night. And we just moved on from our senior offensive assistant, Bob Bicknell, who is like his right-hand man. So basically they're washing their hands of the whole Chip Kelly experience. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I love what Chip said. Did you get a chance to see what he said on the way out?
I did not, because we were still kind of dealing with all the people there and trying to get back to the hotel and head back home. So I'm back home tonight.
This is what he told Jay Glazer last night. He said, "I just talked to Chip, who said, I am grateful for the opportunity with the Raiders. Bottom line, in this league, you have to win. I really love those players. I'm a huge, huge Geno Smith fan. That was one of the best experiences and best parts of this for me. Working with Geno and those guys every day. But hey, we got to win. I get it." Now, I'm going to ask you this because this to me sounds like a guy that has a ton of guaranteed money. And apparently now the deal has come out that it's a 3-year deal. So I don't know how much of that is guaranteed. It was 6 per. So what are you looking at? What, $18 million there, right? I mean, he's walking off with a ton of cash. But I think the best thing, Hug, that we've gotten up to this point is the way that these guys have been exiting. That's the best part of this season. Jacoby goes to halftime. Shout out to those boys in Vegas. You're going to get it right. You're going to get it right. Now Chip Kelly's over here hyping up. Gino, am I wrong with that assessment that, like, this is kind of like the best thing that we've had in the offseason is how the way guys are exiting the building? Like, I mean, even Christian Wilkins left quietly, right? Like, it's much weird shit he was doing behind the scenes. He left kind of quietly. But what do you take from Chip Kelly saying this? It sounds like a guy that kind of, he understands the philosophy. You have to win ball games.
Yeah.
Yet again, I got my money. It is what it is. And he kind of gave a big shout out to Gino on the way out.
Oh, my thing is, I think as we watch these folks exiting and even Chip Kelly exiting yesterday and whatever he might have said, it's almost like a sense of relief for a lot of these folks, right? They're like, I'm not going to say nothing because I'm not trying to catch backlash. We know Raider Nation is strong, powerful, and abundant.
Yes.
But at the same time, hey, man, I'll take my money and take a walk and a break and not even have to stress on a 2-9 football team that's just can't seem to get it right. I mean, we can't blame everything on Gino, right? That O-line is what gave up at least 6 of those sacks. In watching the game, I would say 4 of those were either Gino holding on to the ball too long or walking himself right into a sack. Mm-hmm. And I know I caught Ashton Genty there whiffing on a chip block, but
man, he didn't even put a body on him.
Whose idea was it to put a 5'8", 212-pound running back on Myles Garrett and chip block him? Like, that's just terrible scheme. Stop.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. And this is what the offensive line looked like in terms of what Scout always likes to do the advanced stat thing, okay? Yeah. Pass protection against the Browns, it's bad. Stone Forsythe, 3 sacks, 4 hits, 8 pressures allowed. Again, they didn't have a guy chipping away damn near every play over there. They left Stone Forsythe on an island to die a miserable death. Dylan Parham, surprisingly, really great game. 1 pressure allowed. Will Putnam, 2 hits, 2 pressures allowed. Alex Kappa, a hit, 2 pressures allowed. Jordan Meredith, 2 sacks, 3 hits, 5 pressures allowed. DJ Glaze, bad game, 2 sacks, 3 pressures allowed. Ashton Genty gave up a sack, 3 pressures allowed. Ian Thomas, 4 pressures allowed. But this is where it gets funny right here. Geno Smith, 2 sacks. So 2 of those were credited to him. 8 pressures were credited to him. Scout goes on to say, I don't think I've ever seen that many for one game from a quarterback in my time doing this in 5 years. So 8 pressures were credited to Geno Smith. So again, we can blame him, right? Look, it's easy to kind of throw him, I got blocked. Now your situation, and he's running around blocking other guys that cover the football team, and he's running around like a baby right now. Yeah. But again, even when he's not, even when he doesn't have that much pressure, he's not doing good things out there. He's overthrowing his receivers. He's staring guys down. He's not going through his progressions, holding on to the rock way too long and getting obliterated. So he deserves every ounce of criticism that he's getting right now. And real quick, man, salute to Raider for life. We cut this guy, Jermaine Pratt. He put on a display of full instincts, range, and tackling, finished with 20 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 pass break. And I think that was Daniel Jeremiah, Raider for life, that put that out there on Twitter. And again, yes, and Pratt went from one terrible situation to a phenomenal situation where he got a chance to reunite with his DC, Lou out there in Indy, and they're doing really good things, even though they lost yesterday. And that would have eased the blow a little bit if KC would have lost yesterday, right, Hug? It would have felt a lot better dealing with this situation. Can you stick around for a few supers real quick?
Did they win in overtime?
No, KC won. KC won. Yeah, they won. Gio says, Gino got you intercepted, Hug. Dude's specialty. Salute to Gio. Salute to Junior. The shit show continues. Salute to Hugdeez. He is goated. He is goated. You know what we got to do, Hug? We have to get that, regardless, get it framed for sure. Yeah. But we need to do something special for that. Man. We need to get that autographed.
I would love that. I wanted Gino to autograph it, but I know he ain't going to touch it.
Oh, you know it. But this is the thing. At whatever situation we get in next season, maybe we can all meet up in Vegas. We're already working on some things to potentially put something together. I would love to get C. Wood or Marquette. Some of those guys, they're around. We got to get that signed, bro.
That'd be awesome.
Because that would make it even more legendary, bro.
I just want to mention I made it made it I made it a real point to walk up all the way up to section 300s, and me and LV Maximus linked up. I finally got to meet him face to face.
Good dude, man.
For one, yes, he's a monster. If you didn't know, he's a big man.
Yeah.
But humble and a great man. He's awesome. And we were texting back and forth from the game. And he called me his hero. I go, stop it. All I did was say what all of us wanted to say. But that was a good time. There were two things that really gave me some reflection from yesterday's game. One of them was that we are now 11 games in, right? And there are still plays where when they hike the ball, they're still not all together. There was a play where Gino actually went to, I believe, hand it off to, I want to say it was Ian Thomas as he was moving across the backfield. And it was a complete busted play.
Oh, that blown up play where Gino just crumbled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one that got me, the other thing that I saw, because we got home at like 2 a.m. last night. Mm-hmm. The other thing what I saw was Max Crosby getting after Landon Roberts.
So you've seen that. You've seen it.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that because it seemed like they had to be kind of pulled apart. And then I know Devin White was kind of in the middle of the situation. There was some coaches there. I kind of, it's blurry to me because yesterday is just a damn blur. But what did you see there?
It really looked like it was a conversation after some busted tackling and definitely some over pursuit on Landon's part.
Yeah.
I believe that Max, and I saw this a lot on the internet too. Hey, Max is out of here. Max is tired of the game. I go, that's not what it is. Max loves this team and he wants people to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I don't see Max going anywhere, but man, losing this much and him being an ultimate competitor, I wouldn't blame him if he did. But I love the man. I love his passion. He needs to be getting after these folks on this team. Somebody has to hold these fools accountable besides Uncle Pete standing up there at the presser saying Gino did great things. And, it's not all Gino's fault. So,
and Landon is a 2-time Super Bowl winner. That's what's so crazy. Like people tend to forget he won 2 of them with Tom Brady out there in New England.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? So like you would think that, a guy that is a veteran, has been around and has a winning pedigree, wouldn't be doing that with Max Crosby. And Max is not going to get into it with anyone. I know this for a fact. He's such a leader that he's not going to get into it with someone if they don't deserve it. That's just not who Max is.
And it wasn't super heated. You could tell Max was just giving him a piece of his mind. Yeah. He wasn't yelling at him. He wasn't coming after him. There wasn't like chest bumping going on, but you could tell he was passionate in whatever he was telling Landon Roberts.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We'll leave it at that.
Facts. Salute to AR real quick. Graphk and Hugdeez. Put that citation on Gino. Blame me, Tab. The fact he snitched on you is nasty work, Gino. Gino sucks, needs to give it up and just admit that he sucks. Well, this is the thing. And Hug, I don't know if you got a chance to see kind of my little rant last night is this. You're getting rid of everybody, but the focal point, which the problem of the situation, which is Brennan Carroll. That O-line is terrible. Yeah. And again, when you got Richie Incognito and all these other guys, these former greats, calling out, the system, like, what are they doing here? What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? There's so many blown assignments, like consistently every damn drive. And when you look at, we knew that the O-line was going to get beat up by this Cleveland defensive line, but 10 sacks, bro, that is nasty, nasty work. So moving on from Chip, okay, cool. You kind of put perfume on shit, so to speak, right? Somebody had to go. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of Chip because he's not my bloodline. But again, there's 2 guys that are still helping over there that are 2 sons, 2 offsprings of Pete Carroll that are not doing a great job. That is one son who is helping with the quarterbacks coach. And then also he's a game manager as well, helps with game management. And then Brennan Carroll, who is responsible for the whole O-line. So I'm like, I understand that Chip kind of got the, it is what it is. He had to go. The offense is not moving. It is what it is. And again, Gino, he needs some more time. But even when he has time, Hug, where is this accuracy that we were told that we were getting? Where is this the deep ball that we were like, oh man, he has the best deep ball in football? Where is this? Chip had to literally dumb down his system this entire year outside of, I believe, week 1 because he wanted to limit those turnovers from Geno Smith. So You got an OC that's trying to work with what he has. And Peter said that numerous times at the pressers, that Chip is working with what he has. You know what I'm saying? But again, he had to literally change his whole scheme to kind of fit Geno and to keep him from doing Geno things, which is turn the football over. And he still has 13 of them right now, which is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, the blame can't be when it comes to that blame, Pete, his offspring, and a lot of that coaching staff, they can't dodge that. But at the same time, execution is a thing. Yeah. And when it really boils down to it, I'm going to age myself here a little bit, but I remember the very last years of Jim Plunkett.
Yes.
And Jim Plunkett was a great quarterback. He helped us go to the Super Bowl. You know, he's got a ring. But at the end of his career, he became gun shy. And all of a sudden, a lot of his throws were either under or overthrown. He just wasn't making it. And he kind of faded into black, right? Because it wasn't working anymore. You can see a lot of similarities between Plunkett and Geno. And I'm not putting Geno anywhere close to where Plunkett was at his prime. It's just, you can see it, right? Yeah. It's not there anymore.
Regression.
Yeah.
And mind you, Geno hasn't had a great career up to this point anyways. He's had 2 years of success in Seattle. We have some Pro Bowl years, and he's been to the playoffs one time where they got cooked against the 49ers. So it's not like we were bringing in a guy again that was phenomenal off the rip. It just made sense because of the connection with Pete and some of this minor success that they had in Seattle, right? So, but again, I know exactly what you mean. I know you weren't trying to refer to him as anywhere near what Plunk is done. Plunk is a goat, right? But again, regression. You see it. And salute to 2-4, man. Hugdeez is now in the Hall of Fame of the nation. And you know what's so funny, 2-4? This is who Hug is. He's a chill dude. He's not a disrespectful guy, grown man, father, husband. He's not going to go out there and embarrass himself. And I promise you, this is not – some people I see kind of under the – why would he do that? Why would he do that? That's just immature. That's not who Hug is. I mean, look, bro, he's a passionate fan that paid for some really good seats. They traveled from out of state to go see this. He has every right to say, you suck. That's a part of the experience as fans. That's what it is. I don't know what kind of sporting events you guys have gone to. In Oakland, people were throwing batteries at these guys.
D-cell batteries.
Stu was literally getting hit with batteries in some of those bad seasons. And you're complaining about Hug going out there and throwing up a few birds and saying you suck. Like, come on, bro. Like, you just tell me you've never been to Oakland without telling me you've never been to Oakland.
Right.
Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? People were hitting me up on Twitter. Crazy. That's just immature. This is why Raider fans get such a black eye on our reputation. And bro, just tell me you've never been to the town without telling me you've never been to the town.
Geno wouldn't have made it out of freaking Hagenberger Road if we were in Oakland right now.
Ever. And you're a Bay-Destrian yourself. You're from you know.
Absolutely. I miss that place so much, man. I was there for Charles Woodson's last game in the Coliseum. I was there for the second to last game in Oco against the Titans when Derrick Henry kicked our ass.
Yep.
And the best part about that game, I got tickets from a buddy who was a vendor for the Coliseum, and we stayed in the dugout of the A's dugout that was catered with food. I was on the field for that game.
That's dope. That's hella dope. Well, look, I know you got a bunch of orders to fulfill today. I know you guys are back at home. I know you got a little bit of a media tour today. I know.
Come see your boy for your Geno Sucks shirt. We'll make sure you get a nice deal on one.
There you go. And check him out later on, you guys. He'll be on Big Mike's channel. I know Wasted has Hug on the thumbnail as well. So hopefully you pull up over there for a few minutes as well. He's on a Shieldmore media tour today. So anything real quick on the way out. We got to get one more picture. We need to take a still of you with that picture. You do that real quick. Pull it up real quick. Hey, everybody, get your phones out. You ready? There we go. Salute to our brother Hug, man. We love you, bro. I'm very proud that you had an opportunity to get out there, man, have some fun with the wife and get a chance to kind of run around Vegas a little bit. Anything else you want anybody to know on the way out about this whole experience? I'm proud you brought me on, Graphk, to just kind of discuss it. It wasn't something I thought would go viral. It's me just being a Raider fan and being passionate and telling Geno that I don't agree with how he's playing in a very colorful way. I figured he would appreciate it because he did the same thing to a Seattle fan in Seattle.
who asked him if he was worse than Jamarcus Russell. And I'm not sure, but statistically, is he worse?
I don't know if it gets any worse than Jamarcus Russell.
I don't know. But if we're actually putting those two things together and thinking about it
rationally, I know, right? If you got to think about it, it lets you know how bad this situation is. No, of course, man.
I appreciate you, Graphk, as always, man. We're brothers behind the scenes. We talk all the time. And it's a great relationship that I think we have, and I appreciate the nation in the chat too. Thank you guys.
My brother, get back to work, man. We'll chop it up with you a little later, brother.
Yeah, I got to get going before the wife kicks my ass.
All right, brother. Salute to our brother Hugdeez for pulling up as always. We'll stick around for a few more minutes, you guys. Get some questions in before we get out of here. Salute to 2-4 again on the $2 donation. Salute to my guy Ray Glide as well. Graphk, did you see the clip of Geno flipping the fans off? I did. I seen that. And again, so it's like Hug can, he can dish it, but he can't take it. Hug does the same thing that Geno does, and now it's a problem. And our brother's leaving with a citation, which is kind of crazy. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Let me see, man. Get a few more questions. And once again, you guys, I'm not going to be here for a long time at all today. I have nothing else to say about this team. It was a miserable performance yesterday. I literally need a break from this squad. I'm probably going to take the next 2 or 3 days and just spend some time with the family and get ready for Thanksgiving, because I really have nothing else in me for this. I don't, man. I don't. If it wasn't for Hug's story today, I would not be doing this show. I promise you. Salute to Heat Check. Geno! You know what? I'm about to upload that rant here in a second, Heat Check. So stay tuned, brother. Stay tuned, man. Hug still in the chat. Love y'all, Raider Nation for life. Salute to my dog, man. Salute to my dog. Who do you take with our first pick? Fitzmagic. It just depends on where we're drafting. If you have a top 3 pick, you have to go get a Fernando Mendoza or a Ty Simpson if they're available. But once again, there's a few teams that are in front of us right now that we have to keep an eye on. The Jets need a quarterback. New Orleans needs a quarterback. If they're not sold on Tyler Shuck, they just spend a second-round pick on him. But again, there's a few teams in front of us. I think, honestly, we need to make sure that we continue to lose these games moving forward. It's not even a tank situation, you guys. We're just not a really good football team. But again, if you want to locate your quarterback, just continue to play the way we're playing. We have a whole new regime. We'll have a young quarterback that can develop under a young, fresh mind like a Chris Shula or one of these type of guys, whoever it is that's coming in to help try to right the ship. But we need to make sure we secure a top 3 pick, and we have to make sure that only Tennessee and maybe the Giants are those teams that are in front of us because they have their quarterback already. So to my guy, Lumpy Sharp, one of the greatest names in YouTube history, as always. Need to pick up Linderbaum in free agency. I agree with you. And wait for the Cowboys to do something stupid like trade their firsts for ours. Take Dunker, love Dunker out of Iowa, and a top corner or edge. Keep JPJ at guard and go get a LAR or the USC quarterback later, man. Salute to my guy, Lumpy, with a great $10 smackaroonie. I agree with you, man. I love Dunker. I think that's a guy that you can, if you want to keep him at tackle, you can, or you can move him over to guard. He's versatile like that. I think that he could be potentially kind of a Pro Bowl type guard at the next level. So it'd be fun to watch that. But again, if you brought him in and you decide to push Glaze over to guard, you can have Dunker right there, right tackle, opposite of Colton Miller. So, and then Linderbaum, to me, 2-time Pro Bowler. This can be our Hudson, our Huddy type situation, going out and fixing that center position like we did years ago, bringing in Huddy from Kansas City. Salute to my guy. Salute to my dog, AR again. With the changes, you think we're going to mess up like we have in past, trying to get a top pick with Pete competitive side and with Chip getting this pick. Let me say this, man. This is the Raiders being competitive. That's the sad thing. Like AR, like regardless if Pete is trying right now, it just makes it so much more easier to move off from him in the offseason. I don't think they're going to move on from Pete during the season. They'll allow him to try and get through this season. It is what it is. But again, he's out of here. If this continues to look the way that, if he thinks that they're competing and they're trying to win ball games, that kind of lets you know how much the game has passed up Pete Carroll up to this point. So again, if this is what he calls competing, keep him around. And we'll for sure go get a Fernando Mendoza or a Ty Simpson. We're just going to need a little bit of help around the league in terms of the Jets. And they've been competitive. They've been competitive. They moved on from Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner and some of those guys, and they're still battling. Tyrod Taylor, the veteran, coming in, and they're still battling it out. I think the Jets may win a game or two. But the thing with the Jets is, you guys, that they have a ton of future draft capital, so they can move up and down the board if they choose to. If they don't want to get a quarterback this year, which I think that they'll hold off until next year, potentially, they have a ton of draft picks, first-round picks. So the Jets are definitely going to be in their bag here very soon. Let me see. Once again, let me get a few more questions in before I get out of here. Salute to my guy, AR. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up also. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are 20 away, you guys, from 29,000 subscribers. 29,000. So we need about 20 more subscribers. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps us get in the algorithm, and it's going to get us closer to 30K, which has been the goal for a long time. I know that it's kind of difficult trying to grow your brand in the midst of watching a terrible football team for the past 2 or 3 seasons. So it's kind of tough trying to grow in this era of YouTube when your team is just absolutely dog water. So Savage says, you think Geno looks different without Chip Kelly? We shall see. And honestly, that's the only reason I'm going to do this watch party on Sunday with Hammer. I was going to get away from it again. I was just like, I don't want to do this shit, man. I'd rather just do a show in the morning, a preview, and then do an after show. But I truly want to see what this thing looks like with Greg Olsen taking over offensively. I think they're going to just simplify things here. I think they're going to really commit to the ground game with Ashton Jeanty out there. And I think that may make it a lot easier on Geno. But again, if they don't get rid of Brendan Carroll, you guys, I mean, honestly, what else do you what can we do offensively differently? Like, what can we do? They can't block up front for anything. So what do you expect from Geno? Do you expect him to turn it around without Chip being out there? I don't see it unless these guys just magically start blocking up front. It starts with Brendan Carroll there. It starts with Brendan Carroll and that O-line. And again, will Pete, or will Spy Tech nut up and tell Pete, play Caleb Rogers, play Charles Grant, play those guys? Because again, we want to see what we have in 2 guys that we use 2 third-round picks. 2 third-round picks. It's kind of crazy. Just when he says, is Olsen taking over for sure? From what I'm hearing, it's a Greg Olsen special. And he's been here before, you guys. He's been there before where he's had to take over and play the OC for the Raiders. We've seen it when Gruden was let go and Richie B took over. Well, let go. He resigned technically, right? But that 2021 year when Gruden left after that Bears game and Richie B took over as the head coach, Olsen took over the play calling and helped, propel us to go on that little minor run that got us into the wild card. So again, he's been there. He's been there before. And I don't know what a Greg Olsen offense technically looks like because, again, I don't know if he has his own playbook. He's been a quarterback's coach under McVay in L.A. He's been a quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator under Gruden, 2 guys that call their own offenses. So I just honestly don't know what it would look like. But I'm expecting him to just say, hey, let's not go out there and try to overdo things. We just drafted Ashton Jeanty at 6. How about we run him? Just run him. I'm assuming that that's what Greg Olsen is going to do. Is going to say, hey, give the ball to Ashton Jeanty, regardless if we can't get the ground game going. Repetition. Run that football until it works, and that'll open up things to get Brock and other guys involved in the offense. So that's what I have to say about that. Salute to AR, my guy again, man. I know you from Cali like myself, but how about our San Jose Sharks, bro? Young pups flying on that ice. I know this is a football show, but some good news, definitely. I love my San Jose Sharks. Love watching Celebrini and those young guys. Those guys are having a ball right now. Macklin is a dog. He is a stud. I'm excited to see what they're going to look like in another year or so. So to my guy, AR. Ray Glide, once again on the $5 smackaroonie, man. Appreciate you, my brother. People want Gruden back. He didn't do shit either. We need some new blood in, someone young, I think been coach for the Rams. Ray Glide, I agree with you, brother. I agree. I think it's time to go get a Chris Shula, one of those guys. Think about this. Chris Shula has 2 different pedigrees. He's from the Shula tree, right? That's his grandfather. And he's one of the greatest coaches, at least from my day, watching the Miami Dolphins. They were always in it with Dan Marino and Dan Shula and Don Shula and those guys, right? That is a guy I want to bring in because of not just that, but what he has learned under McVay. This dude is literally the right-hand man to McVay. Played together in college, I believe it's what was it? I think it was Ohio, I believe. I could be wrong. But again, he is the guy that McVay leans on more than anybody. So this is a dude that's learned from some of the greatest. Bring him in. Just real and OJ. Do you think Spytek has been quiet this season, letting Pete dig his own grave, essentially? Pete can't use the "I used his guy's" excuse. Salute for that content. Salute to my guy, man. I'll say this. I don't believe that. Any general manager that's coming in year one that is coming into a shit show like this, I think the last thing Spytek needed was a team to look this bad. Like, that is, regardless of how much blame we can throw on Pete Carroll, you guys, and I'm a Spytek guy, you have to throw some of that on him, right? You have to. He's the general manager. It's year one. They're trying to get this thing right, regardless if they both have different timelines with this football team. Pete wants to win now. Spytek thinks that this is a 3 or 4 year deal, which it is. And Spytek is definitely right. But again, you have that trump card. You have that trump card. You have Tom Brady in your pocket. You guys are former Michigan guys, former teammates. You know him very well. Like, at some point, Spytek has to nut up and just come out and say, hey, man, moving forward, we're going to move on from this situation. I'm going to go get my head coach. And that's what it is. Simple and plain. So, but again, I don't think that he's just allowing Pete to kind of dig his own grave, because this is putting a blemish on his reputation as well. It's a first-year GM. He's been waiting a long time to get this kind of situation available to him. And again, it's bad. Look, there's a lot of blame to be put. We all like to blame Geno, you guys. Guess why? I'm an old school dude. Everything runs through the quarterback. Simple and plain. A lot of people thought that I did not like Derek Carr. I liked Derek Carr a lot. Once a Raider, always a Raider. But again, I'm an old school guy. It all starts at the quarterback position. Simple and plain. And Geno's not getting it done, regardless of all the other parts that are around him. The terrible O-line, can't get the ground game going, doesn't have a true wide receiver one outside of Brock Bowers, right? But again, it all starts at the quarterback position. It is what it is. I'm watching Joe Burrow go out there and fucking break numbers with 2 great receivers, right? But a terrible O-line and one of the worst defenses in football. Like, and I'm not expecting Geno to be Joe Burrow by any means. But again, it's just like, come on, man. Like, but you have to place the blame all over the place. Spytek has to eat that. Tom Brady has to eat that. Pete has to definitely. All these guys do. They're all to blame at this point. And Hug says, dry, snitching, Smith. This is facts. So to Ski Mask, man, I still want Sellers, but regardless, we have to build the trenches this offseason. Keep up the fire content, Graphk. The nation needs these therapy sessions. Salute to my guy. I love Sellers. I love Lenore Sellers, but I think he may stick around another year at the collegiate level. They're really bad at South Carolina this year. I think that he'll probably transfer, maybe go to Miami, potentially Oregon. I don't know where he can go, but I think he's going to stick around for another year and build up his draft stock. But I love Lenore Sellers. If he's available, I would definitely take a look at him. He's an athletic monster, dual threat guy, athletic, just really athletic dude, 6'2", can make all the throws, can utilize his legs. I would love to have him in the building. Yes, and it looks as though Genty had it could be an ankle sprain. I don't know if they have diagnosed him yet, but it looks as though something with his ankle. So I don't know how bad it is. It could be a day-to-day thing. I think we'll get more of an understanding of what's going on with him at some point today. Rube says, do you think Clint Kubiak is ready to be a head coach? Great rep from San Francisco, then struggled in NO, but this year he's in his bag with Seattle. That scares me, Rube. Right. I know a lot of people keep saying that they want Clint Kubiak because of what he's doing in Seattle. They're having a ton of success with Sam Darnold up there. But again, I'm worried. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried from that. Like once again, remember the NO situation. And I know that there was a lot of moving parts surrounding that situation in New Orleans. You can't blame it all on Clint Kubiak. But again, it's a boom or bust type situation for me. I don't know if it would work. Honestly, that's not my number one, pick of the litter. He's probably like my 4th or 5th option if need be. I want to get Chris Shula. That's who I want. Simple and plain. A guy that has learned under an offensive guru and genius in McVay, but also a phenomenal defensive mind. To me, that is kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, you guys. You bring in a defensive-minded head coach that is going to locate a great football mind offensively that can help run the offense. That's why I think bringing in Chris Shula is a guy you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because somebody's going to follow him into the building that knows the game offensively. It's going to come in and help the offensive side of the football while Chris Shula continues to, get that defense rolling in the right direction. And I think that Max would love to have Shula in the building. Salute to Rube, my guy, man. Let me catch up in the chat real quick. Salute to my guy, Gen X, man, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, I appreciate you so much. If you guys want to become a member and you missed out on those 5, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Once again, it definitely helps us keep the lights on over here. Salute to the 5 new members. Salute to my guy, Gen X. Appreciate you, my brother. Trav, I've just heard some of the stuff that you guys have said in the chat. I've seen a few things on Twitter. I have not gotten an opportunity to watch the interview yet. I did hear something along the lines of the Princess of Darkness having something to say about Jim Gray. But honestly, I don't know if I'm buying any of that. I don't know what kind of pull that Jim Gray has behind the scenes. I know he has a relationship with Tom Brady, but I don't know. I don't even know where that stems from. Honestly, maybe that's just above my pay grade. I have no idea why we would be in the business of putting any blame on Jim Gray. I don't think that he has any power over this situation. Again, maybe Tom is kind of leaning on him. I don't know. But again, I don't know anything about that situation behind the scenes. So again, I got to kind of reserve judgment on that one. I would love that. I would love that. Plus, I would absolutely love that. That would be phenomenal to bring both those guys over. You got a guy for the LaFleur tree. You know what I'm saying? That would be phenomenal. Being able to call the Owen and Chris Shula taking over the defense. It's kind of like not really. It's just a plug and play scenario, right? These two guys have already worked with each other with the Rams for years now. It makes sense. Plug and play. You take over the defense. I take over the offense. Let's run it. I would love it. I would love it. And again, another guy, Mike LaFleur, that has learned under McVay. I would love this. I would love this. And I think that McVay would be very happy to see both his guys go off and move up the ladder in terms of, job quality. One going from being a DC to being a head coach, and the other, I think Mike LaFleur is the quarterback's coach out there, right? I think he's the QB coach, and I think he has a few other things, a few other titles out there as well. And he's 38 years old. Oh, is he just? Well, he's the OC. But again, you guys, I mean, who calls that O out there? It's McVay's offense. It's essentially a situation where it's Gruden and Greg Olsen, right? So I thought, I was looking more of the quarterback's coach. I didn't realize that they had Mike LaFleur labeled as the OC. But again, that is McVay's offense. So we don't really have an idea of what Mike LaFleur's offense would probably look like. It probably look like McVay's, which would be that'd be a great situation. But the thing is, he would be able to run his offense the way he sees fit and not have McVay, overpowering his decisions. So again, okay. Yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. For some reason, I thought he was the quarterback's coach, but again, it's because of McVay, and the power that he has over that football team. Hug, you didn't have to do that, brother. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you, man. Gifting 20 OLV Raider Network memberships. My brother, man, the GOAT himself. Salute to you for pulling up, man. Once again, I only did this show because I wanted to hear Hug's opinion and his experience of what happened out there at Allegiant Stadium. So a 20-piece special from the GOAT himself, my brother. Thank you so much. Salute to all the new members here in the building because of my brother Hugdeez, man. Man, get off the screen, man, and go get some work done. Hug. Go get some work done, man. No, I don't want the wife mad at me because you over here fucking up over here at OLV Raiders Network. Yes, Rose, 20-piece from the GOAT himself. Facts. Let me see. I can see Spytech interviewing Panthers OC as a head coach. Not my favorite, but Bucks connection. Okay. Even there, maybe even the OC right now in Tampa Bay. We've talked about him a ton as well. So I mean, there's going to be some options out there, and I think, man, their quarterback. What's going on out there in Tampa Bay right now, you guys? Baker's is potentially out for the season, right? I think he's potentially out for the season. I see that there was an injury that happened, and he may be out for a while. I wonder if there's going to be some change out there. There's been a ton of injuries in Tampa Bay all year long. I wonder if there's going to be some change out there in terms of, again, some of those OCs and potentially some of those assistant coach moving on in the offseason. He has an AC joint sprain. There you go, Mark. There you go. Yeah, but he's going to miss some time for sure. John, I don't have a problem with that as well. If the ball is willing to, be an OC which I think that's what he's going to have to do at this point. I don't think that he's built to be a head coach. I have no issue with that. But again, I would prefer the Rams connection to the ball. If we can bring in, Mike LaFleur and Chris Shula, that is my number one option. 1A right there by a large margin. And then you can look at other options. Trav, we talked about Jim Bob Cooter as well. Talked about him as well. They're doing great things out there in Indianapolis. I would not be against bringing him in for an interview and just at least seeing, how that goes. So, wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Once again, we appreciate you guys so much for being here. As always, salute to you. Get a few more questions in, you guys. We're at the 45-minute mark. I did not want to stay on that long. I don't want to talk about this game. I'll answer a few questions before we get out of here. But again, I just do not want to talk about this football team too much longer because I don't have it in me, man. I am completely checked out right now after yesterday's performance, and then them moving on from Chip Kelly and I'm over this whole situation, dude. I am. This is worse as it can get right now. As worse as it can get right now. I never in a million. I never thought with Pete Carroll in the building that it could be this bad. Who would have thought bringing in Chip Kelly coming off of a national championship with Ohio State? Chip Kelly, with all the success that he's had at both levels, college and at the NFL level, who would have thought, man, that it was going to get this damn bad? I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine it being. I thought at this point we'd be 500, maybe a game or two under 500, but kind of still fighting there and potentially in wild card conversations, but not just there yet. I was assuming we'd be there right now. And where we are right now is just it's absolutely just levels beyond where I thought. These guys they have me speechless. I don't even know how the hell to even articulate myself anymore talking about this shit. I don't. It's just sad. It's sad. It's man, very, very depressing to see the state of the Raiders in 2025. I never thought in a million years it can get worse than AP Gardner Minshew. But we're here, and it's a million miles worse than what we had last year, 4-13. Terrible. What do you think about Sanders being cocky as if? That's why I like him, Mando. I don't have no issue with that. Hey, talk your shit, young man. You went into Allegiant Stadium and beat a team that passed on you 5 times in the draft. You went in there and beat a team that, Tom Brady, you have that connection, a guy that helped develop you. I think you signed your first NIL deal with him with the Tom Brady brand. So talk your shit, young man. And what did he say? It was something along the lines of, and that's only with a week of practice. Can you imagine? Well, I love it. Talk your shit. I mean, he's Deion's son, man. I mean, I don't expect anything less than that. I love it. Talk your shit, young man. You deserve it. You sat there and you waited 5 rounds to hear your name. You sat there and waited for these guys to trade Pickett, trade Flacco, and for Gabriel to get hurt in order for you to see the football field. And you went out there and won your game, won your first debut. Talk your shit, young man. I'm here for it. And I'm a Shedeur guy, so it is what it is. But talk that shit. But let's not act as though Shedeur went out there and beat this Raiders team himself, because he definitely did not do that. That defense went out there and just absolutely just smoked this Raiders offense. Again, Shedeur didn't go out there and take the league by storm by any means, you guys. 11 for 20, 209 yards in the air. He had 1 touchdown. He had 1 pick. Now, again, they did put Juckins in both those goal line situations around the Wildcat. That could have put, Shedeur in a different air, so to speak. He could have ended up with 3 or 4 touchdowns if they chose to not take Shedeur off the football field a few times, right? So I can't beat him up in that sense. But again, he didn't take the league by storm by any means. When your defense gets to Geno Smith 10 times, when you can't run the football and you only have 60 yards on the ground, that's tough. That's tough to come back from. And again, he's a Jerry Jeudy fumble away and 2 Wildcat situations away from potentially having 4 touchdowns on the day. So salute to that young man. Hey, bro, did you see what Incognito said about the offensive line and Chip? I did, Manny. I did. And he was 110% right. He definitely knows what he's talking about. Definitely. And we'll go over that sometime this week. I got a lot of articles and stuff and some tweets that I want to go over, but after today, I need a couple days. But we'll definitely go over that program that he was talking about. And he was tweeting some other stuff that I wanted to actually talk about as well. Graphk, the Raiders just announced Greg Olsen will take over the office. And that's what we thought, right? That's what we thought. It is what it is. There's nobody else there to be able to take over the O. Joe Philbin is like more of a senior, advisor at this point. There was only one guy that made any kind of sense, and it's Greg Olsen, the guy who helped lead this offense in 2021 to the playoffs without Gruden. So it makes all the sense in the world. So Darube, my guy, getting a defensive-minded coach scares me with the OC probably leaving and switching the offense on a young quarterback. Want a young offensive coach and QB pairing to grow together. I hear you, but I think that Chris Shula is a different type of situation, Rube. Again, learned under one of the best offensive minds ever in Sean McVay. And also, he is his right-hand man. They've said that he is the guy that is privy to everything McVay doesn't let any of his other coaches know. McVay, and he makes sure that Chris Shula is in the know with everything. So, again, I don't look at this as a traditional bringing in a defensive-minded guy that doesn't know what's going on offensively. I would trust for Chris Shula to come in and bring in a guy that is phenomenal offensively, let him move on, and have another guy waiting in the wings to take over for like a Mike LaFleur, one of those type of guys. I hear you, Rube. Trust and believe. I've been on that front, as well as let's bring in an offensive-minded guy and help him develop the next quarterback and so on and so forth. I hear you. But until I get really some names out there that I'm really like high on, I think that Chris Shula is the guy that is ready and prepared to take that next step. But again, it takes two to tango. We don't know if Chris Shula wants to come to the Raiders right now with all of this shit going on. We don't know. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe he goes to the Giants with all that defensive line that they have is tremendous. Maybe he goes there. Maybe Chris Shula says, you know what? Miami may move on from their guy. I'll go to Miami. I'll go down to South Beach. I don't know. There's going to be other situations where he'll potentially get interviews. Salute to my brother Hug, man. Everybody give some hands to Graphk. Thank you, brother. This man covers our team, addresses the chat live, and holds a true conversation with the nation. Always impressed by my brother. Kudos to you and Andy's. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my brother. That means a lot, man. Salute to my brother Hug, man. Appreciate you, bro. Salute to my guy, man. It's always love, man, getting those kind of encouraging words from people that I respect and have real love for and real admiration for. Salute to my brother Hug, man. Salute, man. D Graham says, so saying Gino is a snitch, huh? That's low. What's low? What what's low, Graham, is the Raiders win total. You know what's low, D Graham? My patience for any foolishness in the chat. You know what's low right now, D Graham? Probably Geno Smith's testosterone levels. It seems like his estrogen, is probably really high right now. But testosterone is probably really, really low right now. So I don't want to hear that shit, man. Fuck out of here. Nobody wants to hear that shit, bro. Fuck out of here, man. Talking about blah, blah, man. Shut the fuck up. What we talking about here, man? Somebody get him out of here, man. Hey, I know we got some mods in the building. Who wants to do the honors? Somebody go ahead and cook this man. Cook him. I'm look. That's my tolerance is low. My patience is low. Rose, ticket gang, baby. Ticket gang. So you can start rolling. You can start doing it. But yeah, man, come on. What are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about here? But yeah, y'all, other than that, I would hate to leave with about 900 people still here in the building, but I got to get my sons together, man, get some lunch for them. They are home for the week. They're on Thanksgiving break. I'm going to spend some time with my kids, play some Madden, go out here and throw the ball around with one of my boys, kick it with my other one. He's over here about to make a sandwich and get some chips and stuff together for lunch. Other than that, man, I love and appreciate you guys so much. Salute to my brother Hug for pulling up, sharing his story and his experience with us yesterday at Allegiant Stadium. Again, I'm going to take a few days off, you guys. I don't really have anything left for me to give with this football team. So Other than that, man, appreciate you so much on the way out. Salute to Rube. I think Clint will at least come in for an interview. Spytech and him have ties from Denver, I think. And I'm cool with that. Bring him in and let's just see what happens. I'm definitely all for that. Look, we're not in a situation, Rube, to get very overly critical of who we're bringing in, right? I don't know who the hell would want to coach this shit show right now. So again, we got to bring in as many people as possible and interview as many people as we can to see, what direction we're going to go in. So again, I'm here for it. Bring Clint in and at least just give him an interview and see what happens. Yes, Dom, we just talked about that. Olsen just named the interim OC. You love to see it. We knew that was going to happen. And I know that Stu's going to be really happy. Me and Stu talked this morning, you guys. We're going to push our show to later this week. So stay tuned. We will have a Graphk and Stu show pulling up here very, very soon. Other than that, you guys have a phenomenal Thanksgiving. Spend some time with the family, you guys. Enjoy the holidays. Do not allow this team to put you in a dark place, because I know I'm not. I'm going to spend some time with the family. I'm going to do some other things outside of football for the next few days, next 48 hours, and just get my mind off of all this. I hope you guys do the same. It's time to just kind of get away from this for a few days and just enjoy the holidays, man. Other than that, love you guys so much. Hit the like on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. You know what? Let me see something real quick, you guys. I want to see if we are close to that 29K mark yet. I want to see. We are still about 14 away. So if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button and we'll be at 29K. And maybe we can do a giveaway at 29,000. Maybe we'll do a giveaway show and do a special 29K show. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, man, love. Appreciate you guys. Let me get the hell out of here.